All right, now, first we'll talk about the floor. So this is the top of the floor from down below. So when they came here in 1786, they were ship's carpenters, not carpenters. So this is what the deck of a ship looked like back at that time. And if you look, you see the rope in between for caulking.
yeah.
And the only difference is they would have to put pine tar or something over that. So of course you had to waterproof the deck so you wouldn't sink. The old wooden boats, a lot of fishing boats, they were always constantly being stuffed with something and tar and that so they wouldn't sink. And here, nice little comfortable bed from 1850. The 1850s rope bed. And from this bed comes a couple of expressions we use quite frequently in time, not every day, but the obvious one. Anybody know? Okay, what did Mama say to you before she tucked you in at night?
Sleep tight.
Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Yes. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah.
Yes. So, sleep tight,
Yeah.
you have to tighten the ropes.
Jeez.
The mattress is made out of straw.
Yeah.
So what's in straw? Bugs.
Bugs.
So you shake the bugs out before you got in bed.
Jeez.
Now, do you know the rest of it? Probably never heard any more of that. I didn't either till I started here. So here it is. Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. But if they do, take your shoe and beat them till they're black and blue. So back in the day, you'd want to marry a man with big feet. Kill them bugs, right?
That is hilarious.
And a couple of
And
other reasons.
speaking of getting married, if you were, you'd spend your wedding day tightening these ropes, tying extra knots to make it good and strong, or you had no action. So the expression "tying the knot" when you get married comes from the rope end.
Oh.
You all know that.
Oh. That's funny.
Our fancy little pot. Now, back in the day, you probably didn't have an outhouse, but they were around in the earlier days. No washroom, so that's called a pea pot, whatever, chamber pot. But I like what the British call it. The British call it the gazunder because it goes under the bed.
Goes under.
No curtains on the windows because the only source of light right in this room now is from the window. So there was no electric lights running back in the day, so all the heat and warmth you would get from the light you would welcome. So the curtains are always around the bed for privacy, to keep you warm at night, and also to keep you away from sickness. We had a lot of sickness here for years. We had TB, and so you'd have to keep it separate because TB is very contagious. Yeah, be careful. So just like they do in the hospital, you draw the curtain around if you're sharing a room with someone. They always keep you separate by the curtains. And if you look at the doorways, they're extremely crooked.
Oh, jeez.
And
Yeah.
that's not because they were bad carpenters, it's because the house is settled on both sides of the fireplace. The house kind of, because in Cape Breton in the spring, when the frost is coming out of the ground, everything shifts. So it's been up and down over the last 230 years. So it kind of just, the fireplace can't move, so the house moves.
Right.
All right. Have a seat. Just don't sit on the end. Sit in the middle. You sit on the end, you're allowed to go flying. So the original house is what we call a salt box. And that's what the front looked like. So that little area there is what that dormer would be. There would have been a small little attic up there.
Oh, yeah.
And they would use for storage, or if they had guests and there was no other room, they'd sleep up in the attic with a straw mattress. So when you see the house from the outside, you can see the salt box. The upstairs was added in 1910 by the Jost family. So when Joan bought the property, she didn't really want to mess with it because you start tearing things apart, you just make more mess than not. So we have 4 theme rooms upstairs. Some nice stuff up there to see yet. Okay? Now, you got a good picture?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So, in the early 1900s, they put the hardwood floor in. That's a coal burning fireplace, as opposed to the other ones that burn coal. That burn wood. So, it's an interesting little fireplace. I never really saw one before until I came here because we never had one. So because each room here, this is the modern part of the house, so each room has a different theme. This room is dedicated to the birds of Atlantic Canada. If you haven't figured that out, you can see all the different birds. Now, our claim to fame here are little puffins, and they're here between May and August. and they're very colorful and pretty, and they mate, and they have one baby per couple per year, and a baby puff, and it's called a puffling. And if you want to go see them, you actually have to take a boat tour out to Bird Islands to see them, so they're not on land here. And after mating season, all that beautiful color goes away and it turns brown. So they're pretty dull looking brown and black birds, and they migrate off the coast of North Carolina for the winter. So they do go south, back in the spring. We have lots of eagles. The eagles came up from the U.S. back in the 50s and 60s because of the pesticide problem. And Agent Orange and different things, they were endangered. There was very few eagles left. Since that happened and they came here, we actually helped repopulate the American population. And last year, the eagles were officially taken off the endangered list last year by the U.S. government. So that's a good thing. And we have thousands. They're beautiful. They're all up and all over the island. You probably did. They're all over the island here, yeah. And I've even seen them flying in town here.
Yeah.
So they're around, and they're beautiful creatures. Now, so what part are you from?
They're from Phoenix,
Okay.
Arizona.
Now, do you get the Canada geese down your way?
Couple, but not many.
Yeah. Okay. I know in Florida and places like that, they're redundant, and yeah. There's all kinds of Canada geese there. They're not Canadian geese. That's what I'm trying to make the point. They're Canada geese. They're named after a gentleman named John Canada. He named them, so I always tell the Americans, he's not ours. Don't come crying to us. Call John Canada if you got a problem. Now we do have the common loon, and I don't think you'll see any loons in Phoenix.
No. My sister.
But they're in Maine or here, and they're around our lakes and rivers. And they're kind of sweet and eerie at the same time, as you'll hear. So you can hear them out on the Meyer River. You probably hear them too.
Blackett's Lake.
Blackett's Lake, yeah. They're all around, yeah. But they're really cool, like, and especially if it carries around the lake, it's really nice. So we always have some fun with you guys now. So back in 1987 in Canada, we stopped producing $1 bills, and we came out with $1 coin. And so we put the common loon on the back of the coin. And by the way, the loon is the state bird of Minnesota in the U.S. And then, of course, we got really fancy and got rid of our $2 bills, and we came up with $2 coins called toonies. So I'm sure you're familiar with loonies and toonies. So we always say to our American friends or British, when you're in Canada and someone asks you for a loonie, don't give them your husband, ladies. You gotta have some fun, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see him $1 bit?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Ken got a few last fall when he was playing. Like
Oh, okay,
Americans come
yeah,
up and they just
just,
have-
yeah.
Yeah.
They're hard to come by. Yeah, got a
I
two the
haven't
other day.
seen one of those, and
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, I just got that the other day. In fact, I'm giving it to Brooklyn. We got a $2 bill the other day. I gave it to her because she never seen it.
Right.
Anybody
haven't
born
seen
after
them in
1987 haven't seen $1 or $2 bills.
Yeah, the first one I saw was last fall when
Yeah,
Ken got it.
yeah. So
I
this is
forget
not
what
a
they
good
look like.
one, but it's all I can find. I got a whole bunch over the years, and then I give them out to my grandnieces and
Oh,
nephews.
yeah.
And I say, look, hang on to it. But now here's the sad thing: the government are getting pretty cute. After a certain date, you're not going to be able to spend them. So now they're just going to be collector's
Just-
items. But I gave them out to kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So somewhere down in the future, those kids will have something
right.
because you
That's
just
cool.
don't have them.
Yeah, I actually forgot what they look like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's been so long.
Because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky to find sometimes.
Exactly.
I was in the bank one day because I used to, when I went to the bank, I'd say, you got any ones or twos? Because I like giving them out to the kids. And she said, no, but there's a guy. She said, there's a guy, this was a couple years back, there's a guy and he had, I don't know, I guess somebody died. And you ever talk about stuff in their
Right.
mattress? Well, I guess this guy found a whole bunch of cash, all the old bills,
Jeez.
thousands of
Wow.
dollars worth. So yeah, so it'd be nice. Can't afford them.
That was put in 1910, so.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, they have a cholo tussle.
What is it? Oh, yeah.
There's a redneck.
Oh, Oh, is that their kitchen name?
Who's their voting box?
What is that?
It's a voting box for their votes.
Oh, look at this letter, Baba. Aww.
I'm hitting you in the head.
Charlie B said that you had someone. Aww.
What's this? Victorian room.
These plates up here, every church on the island had one at one point.
Yeah, because
They
I
were
think
fundraisers.
my mom has. Remember, she's got a couple hanging up.
They were fundraisers, so
Very
get
nice.
these plates made themselves. Pretty sure there's one for every one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one. This shawl here was a gift from Queen Victoria
Ooh.
herself.
Yes. Oh yeah, Queen Victoria shawl. Yeah. Jeez.
Wow.
And it was either that or that dress, but I'm pretty sure it's a shawl.
Baby shoes.
Tomorrow morning up to 42. In the afternoon, 10.
Hmm.
Like on the wall. Or,
Oh.
yeah, if I can make the interest.
Good luck saying that.
Green.
John came out of his family, so his dad was from the
A lot of people don't know this, but in World War I and II, if England fell and the Navy had to be moved out, Sydney Harbor was their backup port of refuge.
Wow. Register of ships.
Happy Park?
Whoa. Oh, did you hear what she said? What'd she say?
They'll have to get along. Lots of good stuff up here.
It's yeah, they're attic forks.
We went to Burn.
What is this?
This is Dr. Cook's collection.
That must be what do we call it?
Sextant.
What?
It's a sextant. It's measuring the angle of the sun for navigation.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, navigation.
Sorry, you're stupid.
And that was there. So Buckley's mixture was probably invented in the show globe because back then they mixed alcohol and herbs and spices and all these wonderful things together. And the good news is, if it was alcohol based and it didn't work, you still felt good. And also, back during Prohibition, when you weren't allowed to have liquor, the pharmacist could. So if you were buddy with your pharmacist, you could get your alcohol for medicinal purposes. So then they switched over to this method, and then these are pill makers here. But Buckley's mixture was probably invented under that method.
Right.
And then, and just like the barber's pole and that, so then they became a symbol. You gotta realize, prior to World War II, there weren't a lot of educated people around.
Right.
So symbols were
Right, yeah.
were used.
Couldn't read,
Like,
or-
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that was a symbol of the pharmacy.
Right.
The barber's pole was a symbol, everybody knew the barber shop by the
Yes.
pole. So that's what happened. So I'm gonna take you to these two pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, now. So, this was done by a young gentleman from the U.S. His name was Charles Gilbert. He was 18 years old back in 1895. And again, people couldn't read or write, so pictures told a story. And if you look at it, it looks like a skull.
Yeah.
But if you look closely, there's a lady putting on her makeup in the mirror. See?
Oh.
I forget what they're called, but there's a story behind the picture. And so the story, this is called All Is Vanity. And the reason is, back in those days, if you wore makeup, it was loaded with arsenic, it was loaded with lead. So you'd probably die. So if you were vain enough to wear it, you'd probably die. That's the message.
Wow, that's
Pretty cool. And the guy was only 18. He was pretty smart.
yeah.
That is awesome.
And now this one is a little different again. And if you look at it, it's called Gossip and Satan Came Also. It looks like the devil.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But if you come look closely, you can see the ladies. See their hats? The ladies are gossiping and the other ladies over there. And so this is, the message here is gossip is the root of all evil and the work of the devil. Now I'm going to be fair, it's very gender specific for that period of time, but men are just as bad as women. Don't ever think they're not. And but this is more appropriate today than even back in 1905.
Yeah.
Because we have a whole form of gossip out there today called cyberbullying. And it's not good. We had a young lady in our province commit suicide because she was cyberbullied. So when I get young people here or teachers, I hit home, and it's a really good teaching tool because you got to tell those kids whatever they're putting out there is there forever.
That's right.
So they've got to realize you can't do that stuff. So it's pretty interesting.
It is.
So it's a good teaching tool today. So I just wanted to highlight that. That's quite interesting.
So who's this gentleman here?
That's Dr. Esmond Cook, so that's his picture here.
Oh.
And on cruise ship days, he'd be sitting there and telling the people about the pharmacy. It was his collection. He was Dean of Pharmacy at Dalhousie University in Halifax for a while. And also, he was here right up till 2005. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2005 at the age of 90. And as far as I know, his wife's still alive. She's in Charlottetown now. We didn't hear from her last year, but when she turned 100, she sent over a donation in his name to the house. So that's, I think, what you call it there right here, in his spot. The real estate company, across from Jim Sampson's.
Yeah.
That's right there, yeah.
Yeah, David.
No, Dave's not sure, Remax or something, yeah. Anyway, so they're in that building now, but that was Dr. Cook was, the Mansons were next to it, and they wrote in the river for a long time too. But that's that section of the block, so some of them houses are gone, but still pretty interesting.
Fake room. Sorry. Bio beans.
I think this one is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Ah.
So that's a really old building too, so they just had it poured and parted it up, so they're just getting started. They stripped it all out, and then they're gonna rebuild it all up. Yeah, and now today what you have to do is work, because we're in the heritage district, you have to go back to the shoe. This is the old part of town.
You know what they should do? They should have like one of these restaurants. Instead of garlic knots, they're called Celtic knots. I have just marketed something for somebody watching this video. What do you think? What do you think, Guy? Irish pub or something like that?
Totally.
Instead of garlic knots, Celtic knots.
Nice. I think that's good.
Yeah. With a hint of haggis.
Everyone I talked to, they
Isn't he your favorite?
are okay with the black Angus, but they don't.
Oh, it's Belgian. They're like, oh, go ahead.
Just little beer samplers.
Those are cute.
We're recording the dude covertly.
That's it, because you're too close.
Oh, I'm full.
You're too full.
Well, I feel like a creep if I turned around. So I'm just, but I can't zoom in on the dude. But he was going ape shit just a minute ago. Please stop singing now. Come on, don't let me down, dude.
I'm still tired.
He seems animated.
Do you know him?
There's a way to all need to.
He's gonna cheer in Cree again.
Cheering enough in this thing over there. Not recommended. Okay, hold on. Google Maps. Google Maps. It's not midnight. It's only 9 back home. Welcome to another episode of Beer Hockey.
You can be Dustin. Stunt Dustin.
Yeah, I'm vegan. I drink vegan beer all night.
You're such a douche.
There's no weed head. The hard shit. Let me tell you, weed head. The hard shit.
Probably like an undercover cop.
Oh yeah. Sitting on a bench.
Yeah.
Waiting for us. No dog. Prairie boys to get the trouble out. Not today.
Well, everybody I worked with was all excited because they heard about legalizing recreational weed here.
You want a needle?
Everybody was going nuts. I'm moving to Canada.
Yeah.
Never realized how many people at work smoke weed.
Right here. There's 3 people, 4 people, 5 people.
5.
Across the street. Yeah.
Kind of nice.
Busy old man. Oh, 6.
Oh, yeah. He's a mugger. Get behind it. Get behind Alice.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Across the street? No?
We're still city, buddy.
Better the sign up there. Open.
Is that actually Steel City? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You think we're only a hop, skip, and a jump from that? That's right.
Didn't you hear Nana talking today?
Yeah, actually, I think I wasn't. I
About
didn't
her,
think it was
when
that
she hears
close.
people fighting, she goes into your room and will sit in the chair and listen.
She would do. That's just a McLeod thing to do. Chantal does that. She did that last night at Celtic.
You would have.
It was like midnight, and like the cop was outside, and Chantal's like sitting by the window, opens the window. Yeah, she's like hitting on the cop, and I was like laying in bed trying to sleep. Go to bed. Who gives a shit?
Only your mom.
Fuck,
Your mom would do.
No, then Nana starts going, yeah, usually one's on one side of the street, one will be on the other. They're fighting. Usually they're fighting the girl. The guy's accusing the girl of having eyes for some other guy at the bar. Wow, all my years of growing up, thought I'd
Yeah,
today I go into the
To the Rico room.
What in Pittsburgh?
field like that.
I thought it was Pittsburgh.
No, they shoot this one here.
Okay. Thanks, though.
How can you get in?
Doors on this, right where Guy's going. But it looks pretty empty.
Fuck, that is close to that right there. Absolutely. Oh no.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It's not closed if you smash the window in.